Good day everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm getting a late start on March, mainly just because February was a pretty rough month for me in general, and especially the end of February, so I'm a little behind in the journaling department. But we're getting into it and we're moving along now, so I don't really know what to call this theme. I just wanted to be able to do something simple and easy and not have to worry about drawing anything new up. I had thoughts and plans of possibly doing another Hobbit theme for March again, and then I went to like Kingdom Hearts, which I might actually do for April or May. It just depends. But yeah, I decided not to do either one of those and do something with stationery that I have, and I don't have to create anything, and I can just kind of take it easy and relax a little bit. So we're doing a celestial witch theme, I guess is what I can call it. I'm using some of my stationery from Notebooktherapy's Lunar Delivery set, and then just stuff that my pen pals have sent me, and then scraps of paper. But yeah, we're gonna hop into it. So I decided to do like a mini calendar on the cover page, mainly because I have been struggling to figure out what to do with that specific doily, I guess is what it is. I don't know what to actually call it. One of my pen pals sent it to me, and I've been wanting to use it but having no idea how to use it. So I decided to put a tiny little calendar on it, and I can have the month at a glance, basically. I really love how it turned out, honestly, and I think it's really cute and dainty, which is something that I'm not really used to doing, but I really love the look of. So it's, dipping my toes a little bit into that. But we're just gonna collage and just try to get back into a creative flow, really. You're going to see a lot of fast forwards in this video. I wanted to leave in a lot of my process because I don't usually leave that in, and I decided to do this setup without pre-planning, basically, for most of the spreads. So you get to see my process of sitting and planning and figuring out exactly how I wanted the spreads to look. Because I wasn't really clear on my idea for this theme, it was a lot of fun to just kind of let loose and put stuff together instead of having everything planned out and then ready with the video. Instead, I'm recording, I have to get it done as I'm doing it. So it helped to kind of get my creative juices flowing again. I think lately I've been feeling like a lot of imposter syndrome and just lack of enthusiasm when it's come to the bullet journaling, and I think that just stemmed from February being a rough month and the last week just being all over the place. I didn't even get to finish my last weekly of February. I am marching into March and it's, I think recording was the 5th and the 6th, and the voiceover is now on the 7th. And it always stresses me out when I don't have my bullet journals set up like in the last week of the previous month. I don't know, I feel like it needs to be done before the next month starts. Otherwise, I just feel like my whole month is already behind. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but I feel that way, and it really stresses me out. But I don't want to quit either, and I don't want to skip weeks because I want to be able to look back and see what I did that week, what appointments I had, what happened, So I want to put those days in. And it's just stressful. But looking back, and now that everything's finished, it definitely feels like there's a weight lifted off my chest. But anyway, let's actually talk about what we're doing. We just went through all of that and the cover page is done. We're now going to move on to my actual calendar spread. That way I can have a place to fully write stuff down. It's big enough, there's enough room. There's no way I'm going to be able to write on that tiny little calendar on the cover page. So onward to this one. Now the video is going to speed up because this is where I started to struggle with ideas and what I actually wanted to do, how I wanted the calendar to look. I really wanted to just focus on using the stuff from Notebooktherapy, and oh my god, this washi tape is so frustrating. It kept ripping and tearing as I was trying to pull it off the roll because of the way that it's cut. So you have to be extremely careful when you pull it off the roll, and it was just getting so frustrating. And it happens quite a few times throughout the video, but I really wanted to use it because it's so pretty and it makes such a pretty border. So we're gonna power through it, and we're gonna make a frame out of the washi, and the calendar is going to go in the center of the frame, pretty much like I did for February. It's just instead of gluing the paper onto the actual background, I am creating the frame in the bullet journal, and then I'm going to use the paper over top of it and give it that illusion of the frame being over top of the paper. I hope that rambling made sense, but you'll see here in a minute what it's going to look like. Now, as I started doing this, I was using like a really thick cardstock craft paper, and as I was going through and after cutting it, I realized that it's a little thick, and I don't really think it would have been good to close the bujo with, and also my measuring was off and not lining up, so I went to a craft sticker paper, which is from Online Labels, that I was using to make my calendars that I used for my future log, and I think the light texture and color looks a lot better, plus it's extremely thin, so it doesn't cause a lot of bulk, which is what I was initially worried about with the other paper. Plus, instead of gluing, I get to just stick it in like a sticker, which is great. I don't have to worry about using a lot of glue or glue tape. I can just peel the back off, stick it in, and the cut is so clean, and since it's so thin, I can put it right up against the middle of the bullet journal, and it's not going to create any kind of bulk or weird crinkling like it does for most papers when it's in the center of the bullet journal. So it makes it look like one big piece, which is what I initially wanted, and I'm glad I was able to get that. And sorry for my head there, you can see my ratty hair, but anyway, yeah, but you see what I mean. And now I do crinkle the bottom of the page a little bit when I was putting the sticker down, but we'll just squeegee it out. It's not that bad. I'm not worried about it. Moving on. Now, since the frame with the washi paper isn't symmetrical and it isn't lining up, I'm going to put stuff in the corners. So I'm just cut out a couple of pieces from other washi tapes in the set and use some random stickers to just cover up those little seams, and it's great. It's fine. Nobody will ever know except you guys. You guys can keep a secret, right? But anyway, now we're going to go ahead and start filling in the actual calendar, and also sweater change because it's a different day. I have 2 kids. Life happens. I don't get to do a lot of things in one setting, but we're gonna move on with it. I'm doing a simple, square calendar, nothing too hard, nothing too taxing, and it's still cute and still pretty and it matches. But yeah, that's pretty much it on the calendar page. I do add a couple of little dots around that I didn't add into the video. Boop, see, there they are. But now we're going to move on to the habit trackers. And I did struggle with this spread a lot because there was no game plan here. I am just setting it up as we go. But you get to see all that fun stuff happen. My process. And it changes quite a few times before I settle on a final product. I've got quite a few little doilies, but they were all too big to fit on one page since my bullet journal is a TN size. It's not a A5 like a normal one that most people use. But I landed on something that I'm really happy with and I think looks great for what I wanted. I don't track my mood anymore, mainly because I feel like it's just a little too much for me at this point in time. I get really overwhelmed with tracking a lot, and I know I started out tracking like 12 different things. Now I'm just tracking the basic stuff that I really need to keep track of, instead of all the other stuff that, I was just putting in because, other people do it. But I am now, making it work for me and what I need. But yeah, we're gonna go in with some washi tape on the top, and we're gonna do a little rip, give it a nice raw edge, and I'm actually getting to use some of my Mariganasuli washi tape. This was from her January update, so it's got like nice light purples and blues. I tried to get it to where I'm not getting any of the Christmassy details because, I don't want any of that in there. I just wanted the purples and some of the books. But I think it looks good and works with the theme. We're going to use some of my leftover calendars from January. These are my own, but the purples matched, so why not use them? And I don't have to draw the calendars out. So we're going to get those in there, and that's pretty much the habit page. I do a couple of random stickers around, and it comes together nicely. Also, if you start to hear weird little scratches or purring, my cat Luna just got into my lap, and my dog is also walking around on our hardwood floor as I'm recording this, so you may hear either one of them. But yeah, I don't know. I'm now thinking back and looking and watching the video as I'm doing the voiceover. I really do like this theme, and I'm really happy with how all the spreads have turned out. So, I don't know, I think it's going to get me out of my slump and get me back to enjoying bullet journaling again and just enjoying the community. I did take a little bit of a break off Instagram. I wasn't posting as much, but hopefully, I'll get back into it. But now that the habits are done, we're going to move on to weekly spreads. And by that, really, I mean a weekly spread cover page, because I want to do like a tab-based weekly. I'm going to keep my weeklies extremely simple. They're going to pretty much look almost the same. The orientation of the layout may change from one side of the spread to the other, but they're pretty much going to be the same. And I don't know, I felt like trying to create different, more interesting weeklies in February was really what was getting me down. Even though I really love the theme, it was just giving me a lot of anxiety and stress trying to think of different ways to incorporate all the little stuff I wanted to incorporate. So I figured I'd give myself a break and just make all of my weeklies pretty similar. They don't take up too much time. I can do them quickly, and I'm probably going to do them all in one setting, have them done, and not stress over it, because I'll usually do my weeklies the weekend before the next week, and that's stressful in itself. So hopefully this will help. But yeah, we're just going to do a little weeklies collage for a weekly cover page, which I've actually never done, but it was really fun to do because it's just something that you can, get creative with. You don't really have to set things up. It's just a little piece of art to start your weeks. I will say that when we go to the flip through, I did go ahead and do the tabs, but I did not record that. So at the end, when you go through the flip through, you'll see that side is done when it's not done at the beginning of the flip through. But anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. Here's the flip through, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching till the end. And I guess, what is witchy in the emoji section? I don't know. I'll put a star emoji in your comment if you watched all the way to the end. Of course, you know the whole spiel. Like, subscribe if you haven't. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in April.